They left the ships behind, walking into the unknown.
Push through, men! We cannot stop!
None of them would ever return.
June 1845. The docks of England were alive with celebration. Families waved goodbye. Children sat on their fathers' shoulders. Reporters called it the greatest expedition Britain had ever launched. Two magnificent ships, each MS Erebus, each MS Terror, the finest technology of their time, steam engines, enough food for years, the best officers in the Royal Navy, and one of Britain's greatest explorers, Sir John Franklin. Their mission was simple: find the Northwest Passage, sail through the Arctic, return home as heroes. Nobody knew this would become the greatest mystery in the history of exploration, because once those ships disappeared into the Arctic, no one aboard would ever be seen alive again. For decades, families waited, governments searched, explorers risked their own lives. The Arctic refused to give up its secrets. What happened to the 129 men? Why were the ships abandoned? How could an expedition with every advantage simply vanish? Tonight, we follow their final journey. In the mid-1800s, one challenge still defeated the world's greatest sailors: the Northwest Passage, a frozen sea route connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans through the Canadian Arctic. Finding it promised faster global trade and immense prestige. Many had tried. Most had failed. Britain believed Sir John Franklin would succeed where others had not. At 59 years old, Franklin was experienced but entering one of the harshest environments on Earth. The expedition left England carrying supplies intended to last years. The nation expected triumph. Instead, silence. At first, all seemed well. Whaling ships spotted Erebus and Terror in Baffin Bay. The crews waved. Those were the last confirmed sightings. Then winter arrived. The Arctic Sea froze. The ships became trapped. Days turned into months. Months into years. Temperatures plunged far below freezing. Darkness swallowed the horizon for long stretches. The ice tightened around the ships. There was no escape. Years passed. No letters. No survivors. No ships returning. Franklin's wife, Lady Jane Franklin, refused to believe hope was lost. She persuaded the British government to launch search after search. Dozens of expeditions sailed north. Some discovered abandoned camps. Others found scattered equipment. A few encountered Inuit communities who spoke of starving white men dragging boats across the ice. The mystery only deepened. Then, a breakthrough. Searchers discovered a written note sealed inside a cairn. It revealed devastating news. Sir John Franklin had died. The ships had remained trapped for many months. The surviving officers had abandoned them. 105 men were setting out on foot. Imagine the decision. Leave the only shelter you have and walk across one of the coldest landscapes on Earth, hundreds of kilometers, with little food, no certainty, only hope. Evidence suggests the men faced an imaginable hardship: starvation, extreme cold, exhaustion. Historians have found signs that some desperate survivors may even have resorted to cannibalism, an idea once fiercely denied but later supported by forensic evidence. The Arctic had become an enemy with no mercy. One by one, the expedition disappeared, not in battle, not in a storm, but through slow, relentless endurance against nature. For more than 160 years, the ships remained hidden. Many wondered if they would ever be found. Then, in 2014, researchers located HMS Erebus beneath the Arctic waters. 2 years later, HMS Terror was discovered in astonishing condition. Cold water had preserved much of the wreckage. The ships had finally been found, but many questions remain unanswered. Why did they abandon the ships? Could they have survived if they had stayed? Some mysteries still sleep beneath the ice. History often celebrates victories, but some of its greatest lessons come from failure. The Franklin expedition reminds us that technology alone cannot conquer nature. Courage does not guarantee survival, and even the greatest explorers can disappear into the unknown. Yet their story transformed Arctic exploration. Maps improved, search techniques evolved, knowledge grew from tragedy. The Arctic is quiet. Its silence feels eternal. Beneath its frozen waters, the Erebus and terror still rest, not as symbols of defeat, but as reminders that some mysteries take centuries to understand. History remembers those who returned, but it never forgets those who vanished.
The past still speaks. To those willing to listen.